Hello friends, my dear students, we will continue with the part 2 of the lesson, the necklace. So before I begin with the part 2, we will just have a small recap of the part 1 of this lesson. So what was there in the part 1? Mathilde and her husband were invited for a party by the education minister under whom Mathilde's husband was working. She makes her husband buy her a beautiful dress, a costly dress. She borrows a diamond necklace from her friend to accessorize with her dress. They go to the party, they have a very great time. Mathilde dances her heart out. She is losing herself in the party and they return home. After the party, when they return home, they are in for a shock because Mathilde could not find her necklace. Now that the necklace is not there, both the husband and the wife are shocked. We will now continue with the part 2 of the story. So before I begin with the explanation, we will go through the textbook. Part 2 of the story. They looked in the folds of her dress, in the folds of her cloak, in her pockets, everywhere. But they could not find it. "Are you sure you still had it on when you left the hall?" he asked. "Yes, I touched it in the hall at the ministry." "But if you have lost it in the street, we would have heard it fall. It must be in the cab." "Yes, that's probably it. Did you take his number?" "No." They stared at each other, stunned. At last Loisel put his clothes on again. "I'm going back," he said. "Over the whole route we walked and see if I can find it." He left. He remained in her tall. She remained in her ball dress all night, her mind blank. Her husband returned at about 7 o'clock. He had found nothing. He went to the police, to the newspapers to offer a reward, to the cab companies. Everywhere the tiniest glimmer of hope led him. She waited all day in despair at this frightful disaster. Loisel returned in the evening, a hollow, pale figure. He had found nothing. "You must write to your friend," he said. "Tell her you had broken the clasp of her necklace and that you are having it mended. It will give us some time to look some more." She wrote as he dictated. The explanation of this paragraphs. The husband and wife started searching in the folds or pleats of Mathilde's dress, cloak, pockets, and everywhere. Now, what is a cloak? A cloak is a garment, a overcoat worn over other clothes. So that is the uppermost garment worn by anyone. Okay. And they are searching everywhere. They are not able to find it at all. Now Mathilde's husband asks her whether the necklace was with her when they left the hall. Mathilde says yes, and they come to a conclusion that it must have fallen inside the cab. They must not have heard it. Why? Because they were very sure that if it would have fallen on the road, they would have heard it for sure. They had not taken the phone number of the cab driver also. Now, the poor husband goes out in search of the necklace. He could not find it. He goes to the police to lodge a complaint. He goes to the newspaper office to place an advertisement telling whoever finds the necklace will be rewarded. Now, what is a reward? Reward is a token of appreciation, usually in the form of a gift or a money. He even goes to different cab companies to find out whether the necklace was with one of them. Meanwhile, what was Mathilde doing at home? She was sitting at home and thinking of what would happen if the necklace was not found. She waited for her husband to bring some positive news. But the poor husband comes home only in the evening, and how is he looking? He is looking dull. He was exhausted and he was thoroughly disillusioned and disappointed. Why? Because he could not find the necklace. He then tells his wife to write to her friend a letter telling that she had she had broken the clasp of the necklace. Now, what is the clasp? Clasp is the hook which actually brings both the sides of the necklace together. So, what is he telling? That she has broken the clasp of the necklace and now it needs to be mended or repaired. So why is he trying to tell all this? Because they wanted some time to return the necklace. Mathilde also wrote the way it was dictated. But children, can you understand how painful it is to lose something which we have borrowed, promising we would return it properly? See how the greed of Mathilde has led to so much of difficulties in their lives. But is it worth all this? Somebody's greed is resulting in so much of misery to the family, misery in the family. Now with the lesson, at the end of one week, they had lost all hope. And Loisel, who suddenly looked aged, declared, "We must consider how to replace the jewel." And so they went from jeweler to jeweler looking for a necklace like the other one, consulting their memories, both sick with grief and anguish. In a shop at the Palais Royal, they found a string of diamonds which seemed to be exactly what they were looking for. It was worth 40,000 francs. They could have it for 36,000. So they begged the jeweler not to sell it for 3 days, and they made an arrangement that he would take it back for 34,000 francs if the other necklace was found before the end of February. Okay, now it is now a week. They have lost all hope of getting back the necklace. The husband now decides somehow they should return the necklace to the owner. The problems and the worries had even made the husband look very old. They both go to every jeweler in the city looking for a similar necklace, recollecting how the original necklace looked. They were in extreme pain. Finally, they see a similar necklace in a shop at a place called Palais Royal. And can you tell me how much it costed? 40,000 francs. Don't you think this is a very huge amount of money? Of course, they even bargained with the jeweler who finally reduced some 4,000 francs. They even begged the jeweler not to sell that necklace for another 3 days to anyone. Why? Because they felt somehow they can arrange for that amount in these 3 days. They even bargained with the jeweler that if they get the necklace in the same month before the end of the month, February, they would resell it to the jeweler for 34,000 francs. They are buying it for 36,000 francs. They don't mind selling it for 34,000 francs. They don't mind getting or incurring a loss of 2,000 francs also. Loisel had 18,000 francs which his father had left him. He would borrow the rest. And he did borrow. He gave notes, made ruinous agreements, dealt with every type of moneylender. Then he went to get the new necklace and laid down on the jeweller's counter 36,000 francs. When Madame Loisel took the necklace back, Madame Forestier said coldly, "You should have returned it sooner. I might have needed it." Loisel had 18,000 francs. He borrowed another 18,000 francs from moneylenders, from many moneylenders, every type of moneylender. Children, you know who a moneylender is? A moneylender is a person who lends or gives money to people, charging a hefty or a huge amount of interest, and the money that is taken should be returned with the interest within a stipulated or a particular time frame, or else the person who has borrowed money is in more and more trouble. So after the necklace was bought, the necklace was promptly taken to Madame Forestier, who was very unhappy that the necklace was returned very late to her. But does she know what had happened in reality? No, she doesn't. Back to the textbook. From then on, Madame Loisel knew the horrible life of very poor. But she played her part heroically. The dreadful debt must be paid. She would pay it. They dismissed their maid. They changed their lodgings. They rented a garret under the roof. She came to know the drudgery of housework, the odious labors of the kitchen. She washed the dishes, the dirty linen. She carried the garbage down to the street every morning and carried up the water, stopping at each landing to catch her breath and dress like a commoner. She had to bargain at markets, quarrel and face insults over every miserable sou. Each month they had to pay some loans, renew others, get more time. Her husband worked extra every morning doing accounts for a tradesman, and often late into the night he sat copying a manuscript at 5 sous a page. And this life lasted 10 years. At the end of 10 years, they had paid off everything, even the interest. Madame Loisel looked old now. Often she brooded over the past. What would have happened if she had not lost that necklace? How strange life is, how fickle, how little is needed for one to be ruined or saved. From now, Mathilde actually understood what it was to be poor. All these days she was not poor, but still she was cribbing. Now that she has actually become poor, she knows, she has now understood, or she is now going to face the real poverty. But she kept herself very brave and fought her poverty. She had to repay such a huge amount of loan. Now they have to save money, so they stopped their maid who was helping her at home. They shifted to a smaller portion of the house, and probably wherever they are going to stay now is far away from their current or the present house. She had to dress up in a much simpler way. She had to do all the kitchen work. She had to carry many buckets of water upstairs as there was no water connection to her house, and carrying buckets and buckets of water upstairs was actually making her feel very breathless. She had to come down every time or every morning to clean the garbage bag of hers, and so much of work to be done. She had to bargain for every piece at the marketplace. Every month they were paying off huge loans. Sometimes they were also taking new loans. Why? Because they had to pay off the old ones. The husband had taken part-time job as accountant, and he even worked as a manuscript copywriter for a small salary. He had to work till late night, and finally at the end of 10th year, what happened? They finally paid every loan with the interest. Now Mathilde felt relaxed. She was relieved. She was feeling relieved. But she looked much older and more tired now. Why? Because of the worry of paying back a great amount of money and bearing with all the hardships of being poor. But all this Why did all this happen? Her greed for wearing a pretty dress with a matching accessory to look perfect at the party and to show off before other people has destroyed her life. Her unnecessary feeling inferior has cost her happiness in life. One Sunday, as she was walking in Champs-Élysées, suddenly she saw Madame Forestier, still young, still beautiful, still charming. Madame Loisel felt emotional. Should she speak to her? Yes, of course. And now that she had paid, she would tell her all. Why not? She went up to her. Good morning, Jean. The other, astonished to be addressed so familiarly by this common woman, did not recognize her. She stammered, But, madam, I don't know. You must have made a mistake. No, I am Mathilde Loisel. Her friend uttered a cry. Oh, my poor Mathilde, how you have changed. Yes, I have had some hard times since I last saw you and many miseries, and all because of you. Me? How can that be? You remember the diamond necklace that you lent me to wear to the ministry party? Yes, well, I lost it. What do you mean? You brought it back. I brought you back another exactly like it, and it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. It wasn't easy for us. We had very little, but at last it is over, and I am very glad. Madame Forestier was stunned. You say that you bought a diamond necklace to replace mine? Yes, you didn't notice then? They were very similar, and she smiled with proud and innocent pleasure. Madame Forestier, deeply moved, took both her hands. Oh, my poor Mathilde! Mine was an imitation. It was worth 500 francs at most. One Sunday, when she was walking in Champs-Élysées, which is a very famous commercial road or a marketplace in Paris, she saw Madame Forestier. Madame Forestier was looking young, beautiful and attractive. And even after 10 years, she calls out to her, but her friend could not at all recognize her. Mathilde introduces herself and her friend truly sympathizes with her. But Mathilde goes on to accuse her, telling that it was because of Forestier that she had to live a wretched life. Wretched meaning miserable. Then she continues to say how she lost Madame Forestier's necklace and all the hardships that she had undergone these 10 years to repay all the loans for the necklace that she had returned to her. Madame Forestier was shocked and speechless. She is asking Mathilde whether the necklace that Mathilde returned was made of diamonds. For this, Mathilde asks and says very proudly, didn't Madame Forestier recognize the diamond necklace? Now children, tell me, do you think Mathilde was right when she was accusing or blaming Forestier for the loss and misery? Of course not. She brought all these problems to herself. She was very greedy, she had inferiority complex, and now she is very proudly asking whether Forestier didn't notice the similarity in the necklace. Why is she now very proud? Because now she is very happy that in spite of all the miseries, they could pay off all their debtors. From whomever they have taken loan, they have paid off everyone, and now she is very happy. She is immensely happy. And why is she now very happy? Because now they are going to live a loan-free life. But see the twist in the story. The shocked friend is very touched hearing all this, and in sincere affection, she is holding Mathilde's hands and she reveals that it was only an imitation. Now what is an imitation? One which looks like a real costly piece of jewelry. And she also tells so innocently that the imitation piece did not cost more than 500 francs. See the irony. Now see the twist in the story. If only Mathilde had been honest enough with Madame Forestier, the whole situation could have been saved and they need not have undergone these miseries, these troubles in their life. But students, don't you think Mathilde herself with her irresponsible behavior, higher dreams and unnecessary desires of living an aristocratic life, greed for material objects brought her own downfall? The party offered her a chance to live her dream for one night. And of course, how did she? She got carried away in being the center of attraction in the party. And what had happened? She forgot her real self. She forgot the real world. And how did she actually live her life afterwards? It was all full of misery, hardships, and she had learned her lessons in a very hard way. So with this, we are coming to the close of this lesson, students. I hope you must have understood. If you have any doubts, please post your doubts. Feel free to post your doubts. Thank you. Have a good day.